Hello, dear students. We've been discussing a sound of thunder. It can't be killed, Eccles pronounced this verdict quietly as if there could be no argument. The rifle in his hands seemed a toy gun. We were fools to come. This is impossible. These were the words said by Eccles after having learned the situation in the forest when the giant animal, a great monster, who approached them and saw them. Immediately, Eccles felt this was an impossible mission. They would any time be killed, they would be eaten and swallowed. And he compared the personality of the dinosaur with the tools they brought. The tool they had to kill this particular animal was gun. It was like a child gun, the gun which is used by children. It appeared like that. It appeared like that. Now let's take a look at page number 72 and see the progress of this lesson. Shut up, hissed Travis. Nightmare. Turn around, walk quietly to the machine. We will remit half your fee, commanded Travis. Excuse me, Eccles. You seem to be very disgusting. Why do you talk like this nonsense? It's very close to us. If you don't have guts, make a move. Get into the machine. We'll give back some amount which you paid. How much did Eccles pay? $10,000. Walk quietly to the machine. We'll remit half your fee. I didn't realize it would be this big. I miscalculated. That's all. And now I want out. So this man doesn't want to stay at any cost. He wants to move away as early as possible. He says and admits he didn't expect the situation would be like this. It ceases. There is red paint on its chest. The tyrant lizard raised itself. Its armored flesh glittered like 1,000 green coins. The coins, crusted with slime, steamed. In the slime, tiny insects wriggled, so that the entire body seemed to twitch and undulate. Please do write the word wriggle. It's been part of the glossary. It means to twist or turn the body. Ray Bradbury is giving us all details of the situation and the animal's physical beauty, how it looks at that point of time. Its body is full of wriggles and insects, and it looked like how an army man, wears different ammunition when he participates in the war. In the same fashion, it glittered like 1,000 green coins because its body was full of different thick substances. It's a wild animal, a very big one, so it doesn't maintain any decency, and that's its natural beauty. It exhaled, it opened its mouth and breathed out, so that the entire body seemed to twitch and undulate, even while the monster itself did not move. It didn't move, but its skin appeared to be moving, and there was some kind of undulation. Similarly, twitching was also found. It exhaled, opened its mouth. The stink of raw flesh blew down the wilderness. Stink means bad smell. It's a carnivorous. Carnivorous, herbivorous, omnivorous. These are the different words. Please do remember. Carnivorous, the animal which eats flesh and drinks blood. Omnivorous, omni refers to everything. So they are both flesh eaters, veg and non-veg, and herbivorous. Herbs, the animals are people who eat herbs and live on them for their survival. So please do remember these words. It opened its mouth and bad smell came out of it. Blew down the wilderness. Wilderness is the thick forest in the vicinity. Vicinity. Get me out of here. It was never like this before, said Eccles. It's out of fear. And he was not sure whether he would be alive. That's why he became so shocked. Please take me away from this place. I want to live the rest of my life with these bad memories. I don't want to stay here. I was always sure I'd come through alive. I had good guides. good safaris, and safety. This time, I figured wrong. This is too much for me to get hold of. I cannot stay at any cost any longer. Many a time in the past, I had so much of safety and good guides and good safaris, journeys like this, trips like this, expeditions like this. But this time I miscalculated. Oh my God, please do save me. He was praying, asking Travis to help him get him out of that critical juncture and situation. Don't run, said Les Prince. Who is Les Prince, by the way? Les Prince is the assistant of Travis. These two belong to Time Safari Incorporated, the organization which is organizing these expedition programs. Turn around, hide in the machine. Even Les Prince asked Eccles to get into the machine silently. Yes, Eccles seemed to be numb. He looked at his feet as if trying to make them move. He gave a grunt of helplessness. These developments in the lesson will tell us an unexpected and miscalculated journey of Eccles left him being so desperate. He was trying to live. He was unsure now whether he would be alive. Body became numb and he was almost speechless and unsure of his further life. He was helpless. He made some cries, shouted. Parallelly, the guides, Travis and his assistant, they were trying to calm him down. Why? There is an animal. If it hears the sounds being made by these people, it might come, pounce on them, and swallow easily. That's not the criteria. They have some plans. They have to kill it, not on the body, on the eyes first, later on the spinal cord. Far away from the spinal, down, there is its brain. So these are the two spots they need to focus on. But this man is making a lot of ruckus over there in the midst of all this chaotic situation. Eccles, he took a few steps, blinking and shuffling, blinking, moving his eyes like this. Oh my gosh, would it come? Will I be alive? Will these people give me surety for my life? No assurance at all. We are five here. It might swallow us. Not that way. The monster, at the first motion means it started moving, lunged forward with a terrible scream. It makes some sounds. The Jurassic Park, the movie Jurassic Park, will give us all the quintessential details of this particular Tyrannosaurus Rex and different animals. Such animals are not found in the nearby surroundings. We really become so flummoxed and surprised to see them. The monster rose up, started shouting loudly and making a very big scream. It covered 100 yards in 6 seconds. That is the speed at which the animal was moving. 6 seconds, 100 yards, 100 yards. How fast? How fast the animal, the dinosaur was moving. Would anyone do that? Is it possible? Not at all. It's an impossible thing, but it's dinosaur that was doing. 6 seconds, 100 yards. The rifles jerked up and blazed fire. So in the meanwhile, they didn't want to lose the opportunity. They want to shoot it. They started firing at the monster. A windstorm from the beast's mouth engulfed. Engulfed means in large, in a large scale. The fire, like some kind of air got out of its mouth. And that particular air covered the entire surroundings, and they also were engulfed, means covered by that particular bad smell air. And in the stench of a slime and old blood means this animal must have eaten already some other animals or human beings if they were available. Not possible, because these people only go there. It's the journey into the past. So it ate some animals already, and flesh and blood was there in its mouth. When it just gaped and made sound, all of a sudden, a lot of very an unbearable bad smell coupled with some shreds of meat and blood particles all of a sudden came, and it just you know fell on these hunters as well as safari guides. The monster roared. It made a big sound, teeth glittering with the sun. So it opened its mouth, sun rose, and they just found its teeth that were glittering. The rifles cracked again. Again, they started second round of firing. Their sound was lost in shriek and a lizard thunder. Their sound was not compatible on a par with the sound being made by this lizard. Lizard in this context, nothing but this dinosaur. Shrieking sound, very hard, big sound, and it's thunder. When it walked, it makes some sounds, a very big sound. It shakes the entire place. The great level of the reptile's tail swung up, swing, swang, swung. That means it moved. The great tail, very big tail, heavy tail. It swung up. It started moving. It lashed sideways. When a dog rises up from the ground, it moves its tail. Similarly, this animal also, this dinosaur also moved its swing, swang, swung. Remember these three words. When it was moving, nearby trees, vegetation, and all the things, they were being collapsed. They were hard hit by this tail. And lashed sideways means it hit all the sideways or whatever was available. Tropical trees, ferns, the tallest trees in the wilderness, all of them got affected. Trees exploded in clouds of leaf and branches. So piece by piece, the trees were completely damaged, demolished. The monster twitched its jeweler's hands down to fondle at the man. Fondle means, let's take a look at fondle. What do you mean by fondle? It means to touch or caress intimately. So the monster found these people. So it had its very delicious food before it. So he in the sense the dinosaur wanted to catch them. So fondle means to try to touch others with some intimacy. But in this context, we could say it was trying to attack them. The monster twitched its jeweler's hands down to fondle at the man like this. It was about to catch these people, to twist them in half. Twist them means it would simply grab and then twist and make them into pieces, to crush them like berries, to cram them into its teeth and its screaming throat. So this is an effort made by the dinosaur T-Rex. The efforts were clearly described by Ray Bradbury. It tried its level best to catch them and wanted to keep the bodies of these people, if once they are dead, into its mouth. Its boulder stone eyes. Boulder means it's a big stone. Eyes were compared with the big stones here. Its boulder stone eyes leveled with the man. It concentrated on them. It saw them. It recognized them. So wanted to eat immediately. They saw themselves mirrored. Now the giant Tyrannosaurus Rex was very close to them. They could see their images in the eyes of this giant animal. They saw themselves mirrored. Mirror, what do you mean by mirror? Mirror is that shows your face. Similarly, these men saw themselves in the eyes of the Tyrannosaurus. Now you could see the proximity between these people and this animal, whether they are very far or as close to this monster, you could imagine. It's a terrific experience. How about the position, condition, and psychological state of our hero, Eccles? We don't know. I can't simply imagine how this man must have felt at the time. They fired at the metallic eyelids and the blazing black iris like a stone idol, like a mountain avalanche. Tyrannosaurus fell. They got an opportunity. It came very close to them. They had the plan. What was the plan? If you want to kill the dinosaur, you have to target the eyes. Other than that part, you would never be able to kill. It will eat you. So, as they knew very well, So, with great precision and perfection, they executed their plan, being duly advised and guided by the great men such as Travis and his assistant Les Brans. They fired at the metallic eyelids and the blazing black iris like a stone idol, like a mountain avalanche. Tyrannosaurus fell. That's it. It came down. The men flung themselves. Fling, flang, flung. Means when you fling something, you just throw it. Now themselves means they went fast to it. The men flung themselves backward, back and away. Here, uh, as it fell down, they were not very sure whether it was dead or not. They just got back a little further. The body hit 10 tons of cold flesh and stone. 10 tons of cold. That means this weight of this animal, according to these people who were witnessing, it was 10 tons. 1 ton is 1000 kgs, right? 10 tons of flesh came down. It is dead now. The guns fired. Again, they started firing. Where would they have fired? They could have fired maybe at the spinal position, and that was the next target for them in order to make it completely dead. The monster lashed its armored tail. Again, this had some life. It lashed means it started moving in order to, hit these people. Twitched its snake jaws. Twitched means a little movement. It made some movements. Its jaws before it was leaving its soul. And lay still later. It didn't move. It was just still. Still means without any motion. A fount of blood spurted from its throat. This is a very picturesque description. What a wonderful description. The blood spurted. Now we see the carcass of the dead body of this giant animal. Now that author is trying to drive his point by telling us about its mouth and the features and the position of it at the time. Sputter means coming out, oozing, ovos and oozing. When there is a cut on your skin, the blood comes out. We don't say come out. We say ooze, ovos that ooze, the blood oozes. A fount of blood spurted from its throat. It got hit on the eyes, so the internal sections of the body and the organs were damaged immediately. And the functions of its complete metabolic system became seized, means stopped. Blood started coming through its mouth. Somewhere inside, a sac of fluids burst inside its body. Sac means it's like in a bag, fluids. Usually, our body is also made of so many sacs inside it. There are some chambers. Once the body is dead, they start blowing and oozing with different chemical substances as well as fluids. The fluids would, come out across 9 different, you know, ways of the human body that we should be knowing. Please visit um, a morgue where bodies are done autopsy in your life, and visit the places which we really don't think of going, but they will teach us some philosophy in life. Now let's get back to this. A sack of fluids burst means they burst out. Sickening gushes drenched the hunters. Sickening gushes. Gush means it's a big flow, gushing water. We say if there is a big rain in your local area and in your area, all of a sudden after an hour, big, tidal waves, water would come and enter your place. Gushing means a very heavy force of some liquid. Gushes, drenched means make them wet. There is a rain, I got to drench it in the morning. So you say that drench means to become wet. With which did they become wet? They became wet with blood and shreds of meat which this animal had already eaten, and some chemicals or fluids that were there in the body. Once it died, all of them started bursting out. Sickening gushes drenched the hunters. They stood red and glistening. They stood red and glistening means glisten means it's like shining. and some shade. Their bodies were covered with so much of blood. They because they were very close to this dead body of or carcasses of this particular um, mammoth animal. MAMMOTH. Mammoth is also synonym for big, large, huge. Of course, Tyrannosaurus rex. That is a mammoth animal. Mammal is different from mammoth. Please do understand this point. So mammoth is different from mammal. So what is meant by mammal? It gives milk for its kids. So mammoth animal. These people were covered with so much of blood and all fluids. The thunder faded. Thunder means the sound, the roar and shriek of this animal. Faded means it has gradually disappeared. The jungle was silent. After the avalanche, a green piece. Avalanche is a very big substance of the hill which stays on the top of the hill due to rains. Usually, big boulders and avalanches come down. It's called Kondacheriya in Telugu. So that comes down. Similarly, the author has compared this huge animal with a very big avalanche. When it falls down, the situation becomes normal. Here also, the big avalanche, it has come down. It died now. It's no more. Green peace. So there is some peace. There is some tranquility. There is some calmness in the vicinity. VICINITY. Vicinity refers to the surroundings. After the nightmare, morning. That means the situation took place today, and after everything has gone well, when the animal has died, and the next morning, Billings and Kramer sat on the pathway and threw up. Billings and Kramer are the two hunters along with Eccles. Don't forget this. Uh, Travis, his assistant Lesperance, Billings, Kramer, Eccles. These were the five characters we see in this lesson. Billings and Kramer sat on the pathway and threw up. Travis and Lesperance stood with the smoking rifles, cursing steadily. In the time machine, on his face, Eccles lay shivering. He had found his way back to the path, climbed into the machine. This man got off this path. He did not stay on the path as duly ordered and warned by Travis. He was shocked and he became lost himself. And he found his way back again and got into the machine. He too was covered with so much of blood and so much of fluids. Travis came walking, glanced at Eccles. He saw Eccles, took a cotton gauze from a metal box, and returned to the others who were sitting on the path. So these two, Billings and Kramer, didn't enter this machine, but only Eccles came into it, sat there, and he took some gauze and then wanted to assist them, help them, because they were not wounded but badly covered with so much of these fluids and blood. Travis came walking, glanced at Eccles, took cotton gauze from a metal box, and returned to the others who were sitting on the path. Clean up, he gave the cotton and asked them to clean themselves. They wiped the blood from their helmets. They began to curse too. They were also not in a good mood. They understood that it was a bad journey and they wouldn't have come. But unfortunately, they came. This is how they were feeling. So they were cursing themselves again and again. The monster lay a hill of solid flesh. The author is comparing the dead body, the flesh. It's like a hill of solid flesh within. You could hear the sighs and murmurs as the furthest chambers of it died, the organs malfunctioning, liquids running a final instant from pocket to sac to spleen, everything shutting off, closing up forever. This is the procedure once the body is dead. All functions in the body stop working. That's how he is saying. Its internal chambers and its sacs and all fluids, they were inactive. They started becoming inactive. Abnormality has taken place. Closing up forever. It was like standing by a wrecked locomotive or a steam shovel. Wrecked means something that has broken down, stopped working, or maybe in an accident, or maybe with a mishap. If a particular ship or a vehicle stopped, then we would say wrecked vehicle or wrecked ship. It's like locomotive or steam shovel at quitting time. A steam shovel in the sense when the engine is about to stop, it actually the driver or else the one who operates it, you know, He escalates the engine capacity. I mean, he presses the escalator and makes the engine make so much of sound in order to make sure that next time it would start so easily. In the same way, before it left its soul, before it had its last breath, it made some sounds, but it's like a hill of flesh. All valves being released or levered tight, bones cracked, the tonnage of its own flesh off balance, dead weight snapped the delicate forearms, caught underneath, the meat settled, quivering. So finally, these are all various movements and happenings at this spot. The dead body has displayed some characteristics before it finally showed up, being so dead. All parts of its body became numb, dull, and sickened. That's all. They stopped working. Another cracking sound. Overhead, a gigantic tree branch broke from its heavy mooring. So after it has happened, there was a big tree close to it, and a heavy branch fell on this dead body of Tyrannosaurus rex. It crashed upon the dead beast with finality. So finally, it covered the branch of the tree covered the dead body of this dinosaur. That was the final episode of its existence. There, Lesperance checked his watch. Right on time. That's the giant tree. That was scheduled to fall and kill this animal originally. He glanced at the two hunters. You want the trophy picture? Didn't I tell you, man? Didn't I tell you? I told you that we would select animals which would get killed naturally, maybe in less than 2 minutes. If an animal is scheduled to be dead, such animal is targeted. We would shoot with a ball of red paint, and that is marked for death. As I have told you, see, the branch has fallen down. Now it has been finished. And he's asking, would you like to take a trophy picture? It's as if you have won this game and killed a giant animal to keep it as a memory in your life. Would you like to take a picture? But friends, do you really understand the situation here? Are they in that mood to take a selfie with this giant animal? Can they do that? How about the main character Eccles? He is so shocked and then shivering, and he placed himself in the time machine. Now he is not outside, but these two hunters were simply wiping the blood particles and the stains that have landed on them when the real guide, the chief guide, or the leader of this trip, Travis, gave them some cotton gauze, in other words. Were they in the mood? They weren't. What? We can't take a trophy back to the future. The body has to stay right here where it would have died originally. So the insects, birds, and bacteria can get at it as they were intended to. When dead body is present, all sorts of living beings, including the smallest bacteria, come and eat. Finally, it just disappears. We can't take anything from here. Everything in balance, the body stays, but we can take a picture of you standing near it. They let themselves be led along the metal path. They sank wearily into the machine cushions. So finally, after having experienced this tumultuous and very dangerous episode, they got into the time machine. They sank wearily into the machine cushions. Wearily means so tired. They became tired. They can't walk now. They can't just enjoy anything. They don't want to stay here anymore. They want to go away as soon as possible. So wearily, with so much of upset. But they came to hunt. But this is a very big giant animal. But finally, they were alive. They sank wearily into that machine cushions. Eccles sat there, shivering. Still, he was shivering. I'm sorry, he said at last. Get up, cried Travis. Eccles got up. Go out on that path alone, said Travis. He had his rifle pointed. You're not coming back in the machine. We are leaving you here. Travis jerked him with some words. Excuse me, we are not going to take you back to our world. You will have to stay here. This is the gun. I'm going to shoot you now. Go out. Go out, stay on the path. He was showing the metal path, anti-gravity path, which this organization has constructed. Already the remaining hunters, Billings and Kramer, are inside, along with the, what is his name? His assistant also was here, but he was asking this man to go away. He doesn't want to take back. Lesperance seized Travis' arm. Wow, wait, stay out of this. Travis shook his hand away. This fool nearly killed us. But it isn't that so much. No, it's his shoes. Look at them. He ran off the path. That ruins us. Will forfeit thousands of dollars of insurance. We guarantee no one leaves the path. He left it. Oh, the fool. I'll have to report to the government. They might revoke, means cancel, our license to travel. Who knows what he has done to time, to history? This paragraph highlights the entire significant ideology of Ray Bradbury. This man, you see, you are asking me not to keep the rifle on his head, but this fellow has just deviated from our rules. He has neglected out of fear or what, I don't mind, but this man has gone into the forest. He was not on the tracks. Look at his shoes. If it is acknowledged to the government, they would cancel our license to run this business. And his tiny act of this kind of volume, how much rupture gets created, how would it cause, and what's going to happen, you know that, what he has done to the history as well as to our organization. That's why he should not be alive. Thousands of dollars of insurance, because we already give the assurance, commitment to the government, we are not going to violate the rules. So we will take every necessary care to make sure that the place is safe with our presence. But this man has completely damaged and then created problem to us. Should he be alive? He's asking Lesperance. Take it easy. All he did was kick up some dirt. No, don't worry. He just got into the mud and then was there out of fear. How do we know? We don't know anything. It's all a mystery. Get off here, Eccles. Travis ordered, cried Travis. What can we guess now? As far as our knowledge is concerned, anyone who has direct contact with this environment and atmosphere, there would be some changes. So these changes would reflect in the future. You know everything. Then why do you ask me like that? He is not at all happy with the presence of Eccles, asking him, go out. Get it off here, Eccles. Eccles fumbled his shirt. I'll pay anything. $100,000. Excuse me. Why are you so particular about that? Do you want money as some punishment? I'm prepared and ready to pay. Don't worry about that. $100,000. 100,000 refers to 1 lakh. I'd pay 1 lakh the dollars for the small thing which is not expected that I have done. So please excuse me. Travis glared at Eccles' checkbook and spat. Go out there. The monster's next to the path. Stick your arms up to your elbows in his mouth. Then you can come back with us. Travis doesn't seem to be having any solace with this man, and he is still prepared to punish him in any other way. So finally, what he asks Eccles was, go and then keep your arms into the mouth of the dead body of this dinosaur, and you come back. Then I might consider to take you to our world. Stick your arms up to your elbows in his mouth, then you can come back with us. That's unreasonable. Eccles questions, what nonsense are you talking? Why should I go? Why should I have to keep my hands in that? The monster's dead. You idiot. The bullets can't be left behind. They don't belong in the past. They might change anything. Here is my knife. Dig them out. Take this knife. Go. The bullets we used were inside its mouth. Now bring them back. They cannot be left here in this past. They don't belong here. This is how he was ordering. You didn't have to make him do that. Lesperance came, meddled with the conversation, and then stopped, trying to stop Travis. Travis, why do you say all these things? There is nothing to do with the bullets. Let them be there within the body of the animal. Didn't I? It's too early to tell. Travis nudged the still body. He'll live. Next time he won't go hunting game like this, okay? He jerked his thumb wearily at Lesperance. Switch on, let's go home. So Travis finally got convinced with the words and the interference of Lesperance, and stops every conversation with Eccles and asks Lesperance to start the machine to go back. 1492, 1776, 1812. They cleaned their hands and faces. They changed their caking shirts and pants. Eccles was up and around again, not speaking. Travis glared at him for a full 10 minutes. Don't look at me. I haven't done anything, Eccles said. Who can tell? This is where the interpretation or the analysis for today's discussion stops. So they are inside the machine. Travis is so angry with Eccles that you can understand. Eccles became shocked. He's now like a small boy and a small chick before an eagle. Travis becomes very furious, but there is some reason behind his being very furious and angry with him. They don't want anyone to violate the rules in a new place, but this took place. So they cleaned their faces, and there is an expression. They changed their caking shirts and pants. What do you mean by that? Cakes, like the thickest substances of all the rubbish that they accumulated over bodies during the fight, and they attack with this dinosaur. The dinosaur also released some meat, blood parts, and stains. So they were covered with so much of such bad stuff. Now they simply changed the clothes. The video ends with the serious look of Travis towards Eccles. Now, what should you do when you have gone through this video? First objective is, please write down all the words which you have not explored so far. This is task one. Number two, please read this text of this portion which has been covered in this video. And the third task should be, try to summarize this video in your own words by using those words. You don't have to be pedantic and don't have to use difficult words. Make it simple. You might perhaps consider 5-6 sentences per paragraph. You please go with 5-6 paragraphs there, and you would have some idea and understanding how the lesson has progressed so far. Well, this is for now, for today. Thank you so much for your being patient to listen to my lecture and understand this lesson. We will be having one more part on this video, on this particular lesson, where this lesson gets completed, and we would focus on theme shopping for students, and we'll also look at creative writing and the puzzle pre-lesson activities, the cipher book, the second piece, the first piece, and with this the third piece, the one piece, the codes, the translation. And there is a conversation at the end of this lesson between Abhi and Ammu. These two guys have begun this book. Actually, in every lesson they appear. This is not really necessary, but for our understanding and the development of the lesson, we can read this conversation. And keep working hard and be wise and make best decisions about your future and career. Life comes only once, and be always the best. Do good. Thank you so much. Have a great day.